Hello and welcome back to Weekly Recap. I am your league owner, Ian, and coach of the Phoenix Ferrets. And joining me again today is my co-host, Justin, coach of the Los Angeles Chargerbugs. How are you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing good, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm all right myself. Quite well, actually, after this week.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Speaking of such things, let's hop right into how our playoffs shook out for our season 5 playoffs and our semifinals. And Justin, we got the victor of myself versus David being me, moving on to the finals, and Alex with the upset win versus Kyler.
We'll get into that one in a second.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the other match, but
See, yeah,
just unbelievable.
let's hop right into our my own match versus David, Justin, and yeah, this one wasn't as exciting as we were hoping. I won't deny it, but it still ended up being both teams ended up coming out and playing the game.
Yeah, it was yeah, it's not how anyone wants to have their season end. If you're, the Dallas Steel Wings. Coach David suffering his first playoff
Loss.
loss in league history. Great run that he went on. Uh, from the beginning of the season, people were wondering if he could,
Three-peat.
if he could complete. People were wondering if Coach David could complete that three-peat, but then in comes that ferret from down in Phoenix, interrupting that run, and just in a powerful statement win. Uh, the entire team combined only lost 12% of damage by the end of this game. Uh, a phenomenal win, truly. Great coaching by yourself, great game plan. You were able to, just the second that the Latios was in front of that Glamora, uh, we heard you say, "Could I just win right now?" And you hit him with the calm mind, couple of calm minds, couple of agilities, uh, and Coach David not reacting quick enough to that setup, trying to scramble, and the titular turn was turn 10. Gets in his captain Zarud, who's just been great for him all season, and Terra Dark, you're ready for the knockoff, and you're just like, okay, because that's gonna kill. And this thing's gonna be dead, and he can, even though he's lost, his Zarud's down to 5 HP, and his Glamora's gone. It's fine. He can try to regroup, set up Gouging Fire, do something. He hits the taunt. Uh, some interviews after the game, Coach David revealed that he just kind of got tunnel visioned into stopping this setup, and so he hit the taunt, but it was too little, too late. The setup was complete. He just needed to hit knockoff there, and he knows that, of course. Um, and he's a great coach. Had a great team this season, a lot of heart, and uh, obviously this doesn't change um, much of the narrative around him. I mean, he still made it to the semifinals, still had a great season, and he is, of course, a massive force to be reckoned with going into this next season.
Absolutely. He had a great season still. Like, it's not like he was, out of the playoffs. He didn't lose round one to he didn't lose to some, whoever who didn't, hasn't made the
He didn't
playoffs
lose to
before.
a guy who went 0-8 last season in the first round as the 2 seed. David did not do that.
Exactly. And, he's losing to a former finalist again. This is the first time we played in the playoffs. And, I have all the respect for David. He did a phenomenal job throughout the season. And, it happens sometimes. Sometimes we click the wrong buttons. We make mistakes. And, that being said, I wasn't going to let him, if he's going to make the mistake, I got to capitalize. And, that's just how the game plays. So, all the respect to David. Best of luck to him next season. But I had to take the win for this one. So, my return to the finals. This will be my second finals and my first finals since season 1. So yeah. Uh, Anything else we got to mention about this game other than that?
Of course, being the not only the commissioner of the league, but the founder of the league itself, and the person that many people point to as the most knowledgeable, most skilled player in the league. Um, it's people started having their doubts because it had been 2 seasons since we had seen yourself in the finals. But from the beginning of this season, you made it your mission. You were like, I'm going to silence the doubters. I'm going to any ill will that people might feel towards me and my playstyle. I'm going to put that to bed, and I'm coming out here for blood. And now you're back in the finals, and very excited to see what you can do on the big stage.
Absolutely. I was a little disappointed with how we performed last season. I managed to miss playoffs for the first time ever, and I felt a little bit and I took that personally. I had to take it. I had to get the win there. So we came out full. All the plans all ready to go. We were ready to win this season. So we'll see how this goes in the finals. And David, I still think is going to be a contender in every future season that we have. So I'm not particularly worried about. He is still a 2-time finalist, no matter how you slice it. If I don't win here, he still has the most finals of anybody in the league. And even if I do win, he's tied for the most. And he has a semifinals appearance, which as well as that. So I don't even have that. So great play all around from David. So
Still the most winningest coach in the playoffs, correct? Or is he now tied with you?
I believe he is 7-1 in the playoffs now. I will be 4-1. No, wait. He will be 6-1 in the playoffs now, and I will be 4-1 right now. So a win here would put me 5-1. If I win in the finals, I'll be 5-1. He will be 6-1. So he will be slightly above me, assuming I don't. Assuming I win in the finals. If I lose in the finals, then he's like, much higher than wise. So, yeah. Actually, I did have a semifinals appearance in season 2. I lied. I also had a semifinals appearance in season 2. Not true. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our other game this week. Our other game, not this week, but our other semifinals matchup, where we saw a pretty big upset and potentially one of the craziest games we've seen in a while. In Kyler versus Alex. Wow, this game was crazy.
I mean, I want the numbers. I want to know how many people aren't going to be able to afford rent this month because they went to Vegas, put all their money on Coach Kyler and the Six Dittos, and then Coach Alex. The season that continues to amaze. He is in the we keep saying it, it's getting old, but I just cannot believe it. He was on a 13-game losing streak, and now he's in the finals. 1 game away from being the best team in the league. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. To give you guys some numbers and some context, over the course of his 3 seasons in the league, Alex, in the regular season, has a total of 7 wins and 17 losses. Or 7 wins and... Let me validate that number very quickly. Yeah, 7 wins and 17 losses, which, for those of you who could do the math, is about a 30% win rate overall. And he comes in this season, and a couple of these losses, I believe you mentioned at the end of the season, when we went through all the teams and everything, how their seasons went, a couple of these losses could have been avoided. He could have been a 6-2 team. So I think he's somewhat of a sleeper in this playoffs. And and here he is. He proved that he is a sleeper in this playoffs by taking out the number 2 and number 3 seed back to back. And now he's playing the number 1 seed. He has a chance to take out the 3 top seeded players in the league, take out every single 6-2 team in the league, all in one playoff run, which would be the most impressive playoff run we've probably ever seen from any coach.
Not probably. That would be a historic. You literally cannot get better unless you do that and 6-0 all of them. Like, I mean, what Coach Alex is doing will be remembered for generations. This feels like a coming out party for Coach Alex, and no matter what happens in this finals,
he's had an incredible season.
And I do not want to see him next season, for sure. He is figuring it out. And this, to me, has some shades of season 2 Coach David, where Coach David's come out multiple times since that season and said, I had no business being in the finals, for that season. He says that he stumbled his way in there and stuff.
Absolutely.
And,
it reminds me a little bit of, especially if he wins, it reminds me of that. It'll remind me more, if he loses in the finals, it'll remind me more of David's at the end of season 1, where he misses finals by like a game, or misses the playoffs by like a game, but had like basically an undefeated latter half of the season. So either this is going to be like his step before he, final appearances and crushes everybody, and gets the win, or this is his David season 2 where he starts going on like a bunch of things. Another thing that I'd like to note real quick is this is only our 5th finalist in the course of 4 seasons. So he joins the very exclusive club of myself, Kyler, David, and Caden as finalists in this draft league.
Move which he's beaten in the playoffs on this road to the playoffs.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Both of which the losers in the finals.
Yes.
So
yes,
here we go.
I mean, and you look at this game, entertaining as hell of a game. Let me tell you. We were talking a little bit before the broadcast, and Ian, I'd love you to get into this. Unsung hero of the match, really. Or maybe not unsung, but just definitely, the MVP was probably Necrozma with getting a couple D dances off and really turning the tide of the game.
Absolutely, it takes out the it's probably not going to be the one that everybody talks about because again, Kilowatch was somewhat of Alex's signature mon. Yep. He's been like crushing games all season. He's his all-time, most efficient player of all time. But Necrozma here was like a huge deal. The Dragon Dance ends up taking out a couple mons, cleans up the Greninja. It deals with Thwacky, and it gets some decent damage, not great damage, but some decent damage off on Mawile. So that kind of sets up it opens up the floodgates for the finish with Quaquaval and Kilowattrel will just kind of clean up. So. Yeah, Necrozma probably cleaning the game up when, I don't think anybody's going to give him that credit.
Absolutely. And then, Coach Kyler, just, to quickly touch on that, you've talked about it before, great season from him, great showing. Always just such a solid presence. Takes care of the games that he needs to take care of against, when he's favored, he usually is like, just hits him out of the park. Favored both times against Alex. Maybe
not
player was favored in those matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still a super solid coach, super solid outing. Semifinals appearance once again is nothing to be ashamed of from Coach Kyler.
Absolutely. Higher seeded coaches have done worse this season. So, great outing from Coach Kyler, and
Mm.
I hope to see him again pull this kind of thing off again next season. He's definitely proven that he can. Almost every season that he's been here, he always makes a playoff appearance. He's actually never missed playoffs in a season that he's played
Wow.
in. So, you know, he's always up there. And, he took the break at season 3, and it's the only reason he hasn't been to all 4 playoffs, really. So, you
Yep,
know, a great coach, and I'm excited to see what he drafts next season.
definitely. And for all these, this goes unsaid, but for all of these coaches, it's going to be so interesting. For all these veteran coaches who've been in the league for a while, it's going to be so interesting seeing what it's like for them to transition back into Paldea, which was where the league started in. And so it's going to be very interesting to see if maybe they're going to be have an advantage because they're more accustomed because they remembered what worked and what didn't work back in those previous seasons.
Absolutely. There'll be some rules changes, some adjustments to Terra since our last
Hmm.
Paldea outing. But,
This is Wild West back in season one, yeah.
back Wild West in season 1, there was some questionable Terra unbans in season 2.
Hmm.
But, this season, I think in season 5, I believe we're going to have it right. And, we're going to have some powerful Terra options, but some fun ones too. So, um, we'll keep you guys updated with that during the off season. Um, so, let us go ahead and take our finals preview here, Justin.
Hmm.
Myself, the Phoenix Ferrets versus the Colorado Avalugs. Man,
Even just saying it, it's crazy. What a matchup. I mean, Lord.
not what we were expecting to say at the beginning of the season at all.
No,
Um, yeah,
no.
this was not. This was. I don't think any of this was on anybody's radar. The Avalugs are kind of crushing it right now. They're on a huge hot streak. Um,
If the season ended right now, Kilowattrel is the definite playoff MVP. I mean, he's just been so good for Coach Alex. His whole team though has been really strong, performing really well. But
Absolutely.
I think that's might be causing some people to forget how many hard hitters that you have on your roster because last game we technically only saw 3 of your Pokemon hit the field. Even then, it was like, you started with Landorus, switched into
Tornadus.
Pheasantipity.
Tornadus, my bad.
You started with Tornadus, but just switched into Pheasantipity to get the toxic spikes eaten up, then switched immediately to Latios. So we basically only saw Latios that game. Chi Pao, Heatran, Alola, all who made all defensive or all the all-star team. One of them was
Annihilate
MVP.
too.
Annihilate. We didn't even see Annihilate. I mean,
Annihilate
it's
didn't even
just
come to
like
the game. He didn't even show up.
exactly. He got to sit at home. He was watching on TV. And so I feel like after a week that we just had where Alex had to pull out everything in his bag, it went down to the wire. Kilowatt only having like 17% left by the end of the game. Um, and you just, having a sweeping victory, I feel like it might be easy for people to forget just how versatile and powerful the Phoenix First roster is.
Yeah, I would like to mention because I think I forgot to mention this when we were talking about myself and David's game. I do think that Latios was slept on this season. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's 2-2. He came to a bunch of games. He's washed. He's an old generation Pokemon. He used to be a good draft mon, but now he's washed up. He's not that great." And you know what? He took that personally. He absolutely, he came out with the A game, and I was excited to see it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, worth the pick right there with just what he truly brought to the table. But yes, I am excited to see. I think Alex's team also did get to hold a little bit back in last game. Uh, I'll tell you, Cartana is always a menace. He didn't even come,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty excited. I imagine that he comes versus me. Uh, if I were to just if I was a betting man, I would say Kilowattrel will almost for sure come. I could imagine. I imagine Diancie will come. If I was betting man as well, I think Wug Trio will end up making a finals appearance because I can't imagine Coach Alex not bringing Wug Trio to the finals.
His second round pick to the finals.
Yeah,
You
somehow I
know,
think it might happen.
anything's possible. We'll have
Whether
to see.
whether it's whether it's me just making speculation on Alex as a coach or not, um, you know, I just think I think that might be the case. But there's a lot of options on Alex's team that I have to be aware of. So I'm excited for this game. Alex is a great coach, as he's proved all season. So I'm excited to see what he does in this game.
It's it's a David versus Goliath story.
This is the
It's
first real
it's
one in the finals we've ever had.
exactly. It's truly. It feels like with the way these playoffs are going, it is anyone's game. Either possibility will be exciting. Either possibility will amaze, and either possibility will have a great fucking result and a great end to this season 4 of the showdown league. And I'm so excited for this matchup. I really hope everyone shows up and we get to all talk and chat because oh man, it's gonna be so much fun. Can't wait to see how it ends.
Absolutely, and we'll continue. I think we'll continue to do cams during the game. I think that's fun for playoff matches. We won't do it for regular season because I'm not going to do that
That's
for
too much. Yeah.
the 8 games a week or more, depending on how next season how many people sign up for next season. But yeah, so if you also want to hear my thoughts during the game, be sure to be there, and
Yeah.
or if you want to hear Alex's thoughts during the game, be sure to be there.
Oh, you're
We'll
gonna want
both
to
be
hear
there.
Alex's thoughts.
It's been a good season. I'm excited to see what happens. Um, Best of luck to Alex when he plays me. I'll tell you, I'm bringing some new stuff. If you thought that I'm out of stuff from last week or the week before, you thought Psych Up and Calm Mind and Stored Power is all I got in the bag. Come on, come on, come on. We got plenty. We got plenty to show.
Yeah.
So be ready for that. I'll have I have something very fun that I've been tinkering with all season. So we'll see how that goes.
Are we gonna see a new champion emerge, or are we gonna see a new champion emerge, or are we gonna see the return of a titan in this league? Who's to say?
I'm hoping for the Titan, but
What's your bias?
a little bit, just a tad bit. But yeah, I also would like to see Alex do well. So I won't be upset either way. So with
Yeah.
that, I believe that's all we got for this week. We'll have one final recap after the playoffs or after the finals. Um, Interview with myself and Alex, and a breakdown of the finals pretty quickly. So be sure to tune in for that. And other than that, unless you got anything else, Justin, that's all I have.
No, I'm super excited for this matchup, uh, and uh, and yeah, good luck to you, of course, and good luck to Alex in this finals match. And this is a very pivotal game. Excited to see what the outcome is. Either way, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be excited.
Yeah. And that's all we got for this week. So good luck to Alex, and we'll see you next week.